We've already looked at how both Sporting and Benfica could line up right now if they kept their best players, so we may as well make it a Portuguese trifecta and do the same for Porto. The club where Jose Mourinho first made his name by winning the Champions League back in 2004, Porto have a history of selling their best players, paying the ultimate price for their success. But what if they hadn't had to sell their biggest assets? Let's look at how Porto could line up right now if they had their current squad plus the players they'd sold in recent memory. In goal it's Iker Casillas. This team can include players who are still at Porto, which is exactly why Spanish legend Iker Casillas is in between the sticks. The 36-year-old moved to Portugal in 2015 after a 25-year affiliation with Real Madrid, but it was hardly a dignified exit for Casillas. One of the best goalkeepers of the 21st century, Casillas is still breaking records, keeping more clean sheets in one season than he ever has before at Porto this season, as well as overtaking Paolo Maldini for the most appearances in European club competitions with 175 appearances. At right back it's Danilo. Now we get on to the players Porto have had to sell. Brazilian right back Danilo joined Porto in January 2012 from Santos for €13 million, spending 3.5 years there before Real Madrid cut him calling in the summer of 2015. Lack of form combined with having to compete with Dani Carvajal meant that game time was limited at the Bernabeu for Danilo, and he's now gracing the Premier League with his talents by joining Man City for £26.5 million, despite Shudu being set to play backup to Kyle Walker all season, with City spending around £100 million on the England international and left-back Benjamin Mendy. Our first centre-back is THIAGO SILVA. He may never have played for the Porto first team, but the Brazilian centre-half THIAGO SILVA was actually contracted to the club in 2004, signing for €2.5 million. After a year in the reserves, he would join Dynamo Moscow, where he would actually retire from the game due to suffering from tuberculosis. However, Silva would get his career back on track in 2006 by joining Fluminense, where his performances in Brazil earned him a move to AC Milan in 2009. After winning Serie A in 2011, Silva would join PSG a year later for more than €40 million. Porto have made some serious money on player sales in years gone by, but illness stopped that happening with Thiago Silva. And he's alongside Nicolas Otamendi. We could have gone with Pepe here, but since he's a bit of a dickhead and now in the latter years of his career at 34 years old, we've decided to go with the younger and less dickheadish Nicolas Otamendi. The Argentinian cost Porto €4 million in 2010 from Vélez, and they would treble their money 4 years later when he joined Valencia for €12 million. The Spaniards would get the biggest money for him though, with Man City paying Valencia an initial £28.5 million, making him the second Man City player in our back four. At left back it's Alexandro. We complete our South American back four with Brazilian fullback Alexandro, who has been heavily linked with a Premier League move this summer, so much so his Wikipedia page already says he plays for Chelsea, so if someone could go and change that would be great. Sandro cost Porto €9.6 million in 2011 from Deportivo Maldonado, and after 4 impressive years and 2 league titles, he was off to Juventus for €26 million, where he's bagged himself another 2 league titles, with no doubt more to come. Our first midfielder is James Rodriguez. South American star number 5 is Colombian playmaker James Rodriguez, who only cost €5.1 million from Banfield in 2010 and was part of Andre Villas-Boas' Europa League winning team in 2011, alongside Otamendi and 2 other members of this team who we'll get to soon. James would head to the newly rich Monaco in 2013 for €45 million, then his incredible performance at the 2014 World Cup got him an even bigger money move to Real Madrid, costing Los Blancos €80 million. Of course, he's now on loan at Bayern Munich for the next couple of years, which blows any of Chelsea's loan knees out the water. Next up we've got João Moutinho. You have to be really careful who you say João Moutinho's name to in Lisbon, because his move from Sporting to Porto certainly upset the apple cart, with the Sporting chairman actually describing him as a rotten apple. Like Rodriguez, Moutinho would join Monaco in 2013, costing €25 million from Porto, and he's remained there ever since, winning Ligue 1 last season ahead of Paris Saint-Germain. Our third midfielder is Janely Mbula. Born in Belgium to Congolese parents and raised in France, three-nation Mbula didn't last long at Porto, having arrived in July 2015 from Marseille for €20 million. However, they cut their losses 7 months later and shipped him off to Stoke City, who paid a club record £18.3 million, meaning Porto made a €4 million profit on the midfielder. After initially shining for the Potters, Mbula is now out of favour and deemed surplus to requirements, but we're still going to put him in this team ahead of Fernando, Ruben Neves and Steven Defoe. Our front three kicks off with Hulk. It's not any of our business and this certainly isn't a diss, but Hulk is certainly a man who has just followed the money in football rather than test himself at the highest level. The Brazilian would first impress in Japan, then headed to Europe by joining Porto in 2008. The big green monster boasted quite an impressive goal scoring record at Porto, finding the net 54 times in 99 league appearances, then headed to Zenit St Petersburg in 2012 for €40 million, where his incredible goal scoring would continue, again averaging more than a goal every other game in the league. In 2016, Hulk made an even bigger move, heading to the Chinese Super League and joining Shanghai SIPG for a reported £45 million, earning a whopping £320,000 a week. Hulk has since admitted that he dreams of playing in the Premier League, but I think he's priced himself out of that move. Our next forward is Jackson Martinez. We could have went for the more youthful option of Andre Silva, who has just joined AC Milan for €38 million after scoring 16 times for Porto last season, but his goal scoring record has nothing on Colombian Jackson Martinez. In all three of his seasons at Porto, Martinez was the division's top scorer, bagging 67 times in 90 league appearances, although the goals have slightly dried up since. A move to Atletico Madrid was unfruitful, scoring just twice for the price of €35 million, and now he's also in China, playing for league leaders Guangzhou Evergrande, who paid €42 million for the 30-year-old. And finally, we've got Radamel Falcao. The biggest comeback since Take That, Falcao is back at the top of his game after years of uncertainty and failure after a knee injury. Falcao was deadly at Porto, and that earned him a move to Atletico Madrid, where he was brought in to replace Sergio Aguero, costing €40 million. The goals continued to flow, and in 2013 he would link back up with James and Moutinho by joining Monaco. In January 2014, a severe ACL injury would end his season, kill his World Cup dreams, and lead to years of struggle. Loan moves to Man United and Chelsea were a disaster, and it looked like Falcao was done. But now he's back with Monaco, the striker is back to his best, scoring 21 goals as they won the Ligue 1 title last season. So that's our Porto 11 if they kept their best players. Let us know which other teams you'd like us to look at in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.